right, so hi everyone, thanks for being here. My name is Talor. For those who don't know me, I'm what we call the retail guy. I'm doing retail department stores in USA for the last over 2 decades by now. I was just thinking while I was listening to you guys talking, and I was thinking about a different way to present myself this time, to touch it from a different angle. And I think it all started back in '99 when I was selling products in Japan. I was selling jewelries. I started from the streets, actually. Then I went up to the stores, had about 20 stores there. So I'm saying this because I know like how it is to be in your shoes in terms of selling products and, struggling with a lot of things, starting from supply chain and up to the actual places where you sell. And rolling forward, in 2003, I got myself into China, where I was producing products with a couple of friends for Walmart and Costco. Something that was always in my head, in my mind, was, okay, I'm working with Costco, I'm working with Walmart. This is amazing. What else can I do with these products? Because I already have these products, right? I was focusing on tech accessories, wearable tech accessories later on when they all been available. And I'm thinking about this at the same way that I think of any online seller. You're selling on Amazon, for instance. Amazon, without Amazon, you would not have anything to do with your product, right? So you have the platform. But hey, here's something to just to know that most of the people I'm talking with do not know it. The entire online business in the USA is no more than 15%. And I'm talking about Walmart, Amazon, Shopify, all together. And I checked my information that I'm telling you here so many times because I was like, 15% doesn't make sense. When you scroll in your mobile, you get the feeling that the online section is like, what, 99%, right? That's not true. But retail, physical stores, they are not the 85%, they are approximately 55%. Okay, it's approximate because you cannot really define the exact number. Overall, there are over 4 million physical stores in the USA. And when I got to understand these numbers, I took my brand and my target was to put it in as many chain stores as possible. So I was able to do it with 60 different department stores like Macy's and Bloomingdale, Urban Outfitter, TJ Maxx, and so on. Rolling forward, we started an agency where we helped since 2017. We're helping vendors to find buyers. So I'm going to share a quick example. There's one guy that I met through Titan Network. Some of you might know that name. And the guy name is Chuck. He's a very good, very great guy, really great guy. And he has nice products and everything. And since the beginning, he told me something interesting. He said, I don't consider myself as an Amazon seller. I consider myself a brand. So I said, this is interesting, because a lot of people are defining themselves indeed as Amazon sellers, but that definition is a little bit, limiting what they're doing. Because if you wake up in the morning and you're thinking Amazon alone, then you would not even look aside to see, wait a second, I can also sell, just like mentioned earlier by Andrew, I can sell on Shopify, I can bring traffic from here, from there, omni-channels and so on. And that's exactly what we're doing. So Chuck started to work with us back in March. And I don't know if I can share my screen, but I'll try to do so. This is my screen, yeah. I'm just sharing with you how a typical purchase order in retail looks like. And this is just one order out of hundreds or sometimes thousands, okay? You have the vendor name, which is Braze, and obviously he gave me like authorization to share this today. He started back end of March and started to supply them in April, as you can see here, last delivery on April 18. And one single order for almost 3,000 units sums up to $44,000 in wholesale, which they are selling in the store, by the way, for $95. They are doubling. In most of the scenarios, the vendor is also almost doubling because the cost here for the vendor was approximately 20-something dollars. I think $22,000 or $23,000. Okay, so they double, the retailer double, and everyone is happy. But the very interesting thing about this is that this would happen because we know the buyer. The whole thing about expanding to new channels is how to get there. So if you have a TikTok expert, then you can expand yourself into TikTok. you gotta have all the funnels and everything down the road. That's everyone understands that. But the same thing goes to Instagram sales, Shopify, and of course Amazon. But I'm not talking about Amazon because that's not my field. I don't want to say things that are not from my areas. One of the things that I found most hard to do is to find the actual buyers, because people might listen to me, and I heard that a couple of times, say, you know what, it all sounds so good. If it's so good, why everyone is not doing it? Well, some of them are doing it, and if you ever try to do so, I'll be happy to hear that in the chat. If you ever try to go retail, I'll be happy to hear about your experience, or just raise your hand. But I think what I found is that the most hard thing to do is to find a buyer. So yes, let's say you're selling garments. Okay, let's make it simple. So garments could fit Walmart and TJ Maxx and Nordstrom, Saks Fifth Avenue, Bills of Florida, you name it. There's like, overall, you have to keep it in mind, there's 29,000 retailers in the US. Okay, some of them are big as 4,000 stores, more than 4,000 like TJ Maxx, or 9,980 like CVS, the pharmacy, very well-known chain store. But some of them are small as 30, 40 stores, and they're good as well to do business with, because eventually you're going to get bulk orders in hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands. But again, the most challenging point is how to find those buyers. And that's exactly what we were doing during those 8 years of being an agency. We were hunting as many buyers as we can with a lot of different methods. I wish I had more time, which I don't, but I wish I had more time to share with you today how to find all those buyers, because there are a lot of techniques. But eventually, if you want to scale it, and that's what we did, because we started to work with a lot of brands, we said, you know what, working with 300, 400, 500 buyers is very good. That gives us a lot of opportunities and options. It was very hard to find them. Well, how can we do the step to get that 500 into 5,000 or even 50,000 buyers? And that's exactly what I'm talking here today. You can do that manually by LinkedIn, or you can scrap emails with a lot of different tools that are out there, SaaS platforms and so on, even AI platforms. The big problem is that, number one, most of the contacts you get might be failure one. Number two, even if you have the buyer, you need to know what to tell the buyer. If I'm selling on Amazon, there's a lot of experts out there that could tell me how, to optimize my listing, how to do the right image shooting, videos, and so on. When it comes to retail, there's not many people who is dealing with this. But when it comes to retail, there's a certain retail language, old school type of language. And that language is a very, very clear language. Eventually, from the other side of the buyer, what we want is the buyer to look at my presentation, a very short one, and say, hey, I like this brand. I want to hear more. I want to see sample. I want to see pricing. I want to know what is it all about. And think about a buyer having whatever, 20, 50, $100 million budget a year, and they need to choose all these brands, right? So when you present them a brand, I'm looking at my watch to see that I'm not over my time. When you present them a brand, you want your brand to shine on top of all the others so that the buyer will take it and say, oh, this is the one I want to see. Okay. And think about buyers, not only that you need to find, but also you need to shine on top of the other brands. The good news is that not many brands from the online section understand the potential of retail. So this is like, there's obviously retail is live and kicking. It's billions and billions of dollars industry, but still, from some reason, the online vendors, which is, I think, the most smart community in this industry of retail in general, are not really getting the point where they have 55% of the market being just, lost because they are focusing on Amazon alone. And this is also, coming back to what Andrew said beforehand, when you want to sell your brand, if your brand is an Amazon brand, you can sell it 2 or 3 times, right? That's what you mentioned with the evaluation. But if you're presenting a brand that is selling on Nordstrom and TJ Maxx and Gabe's and Home Goods and Marshall, that's where it's a complete different story. It's not an online brand, it's a real brand with a future to the brand. Anyway, I hope you like what I said here. I wish I had more time to talk about some strategy. What I do think that is the most important is to know how to find a buyer and how to pitch. Think about it very, 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 very in depth, because it's not just saying, hey, I want to show you my kitchen products. It's not as simple as that. You need to find a way for them. And you spoke about, again, I'm going back to Andrew all the time. You spoke about emails outreach. So we are doing email outreach, and we're doing like cold emails, which is a complete different thing from hot emails. But looking at my watch again, when you want to shine, what you want to do first is get attraction from the buyer. And how you get that is by including in your brief his company name. Because when you do so, think about yourself. You're sitting in the office, your company name is, let's say, Green Glasses. You can see that, Green Glasses. If someone sends me an email telling me something, whatever it is, for Green Glasses, I would look at this and I will not drop it to recycle bin, because this might be important because it talks about my company. So whatever happens next in the email, that person already got my attention. Okay, this is, I think, the best tip I can give you if you want to approach buyers. And how to find the buyers is a whole different session that we will need probably a couple of hours. But if you like what you're seeing and you think that this is something that you're willing to explore or looking to explore and join other successful brands that are selling in retail, you're very welcome to join the party right here in our SaaS platform launched recently, which is doing everything for you. It's a done-for-you service where we approach, well, right now our database is approximately 250,000 buyers. You heard me right, 250,000, which is crazy. If I would tell myself 5 years ago that information, I wouldn't believe. But then we do everything for our vendors, and you can ask a demo here. It's retailempire.com/web-to-shelf. And the whole idea about this is to use the entire power of our tens of years of experience combined with all the people we work with, and bring it as a power for the vendor to be able to open the door to thousands of buyers. That's me until here. Drop the link here. Make it easy.
Awesome.
Hope you liked it.
Thank you, Talor.